Hello and welcome to another episode of Colourful. I am Senamile Zungu in studio with my best friend Stacey Jane, and we're in Cape Town. Hey bestie.
Hey bestie, back from Germany in Cape Town. Where should we go next?
I don't know, guys. Please give it. Wait, Siv was saying we should maybe look into. What did you just say? Thailand? Since we're South African.
No, don't go to Thailand. Who still goes to Thailand, guys? Go to Vietnam. Go to Philippines. Like to Thailand.
Okay. Well, we'll
That's like the
consult
10th
you.
province.
So I feel like you just launched straight into the fact that we have Siv in the room.
Yeah. Just like I glossed over it. It's not a big
Welcome,
deal.
Siv. Welcome to Colourful.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you here.
It's been on my schedule for a long time, and usually something comes up, but I pushed because you told me that your bestie was flying in from Joburg. I was like, the pressure.
That was so that you wouldn't cancel.
No, I would have never canceled. I would have moved it.
That is true. That
Call
is
it
true.
emotional blackmail.
I got it.
So it works on you.
No, it doesn't. If a big job came, you would have been moved.
We're also important, bestie, I promise you.
Yeah.
Siv, it is really cool to have you in studio with us today.
That's right.
We want to just have a chat with you, track around your life, track around the things that are the places that you've invested so much time and why they're important to you, and then just generally see where that takes us.
So go ahead.
So here's the thing, right? We were talking in the car on the way here, saying we know a lot about your current life, where you're investing, and we're going to get to all those things now, where you're investing your time, your effort, your energies, your advocacy. But what we would love to know is a little bit about you growing up. You grew up in Guguletu. Give us a story about what shaped you.
So I grew up in Guguletu. I'm Xhosa. I was the last born, first son. My mom, they call me Sivuyile, which means we're happy. And anyone who's called Sivuyile gets called Mavui, which means mom's happy. I was treated like I was special since the day I was born. My mother was a principal, so she was high on discipline. So I had this very, very this thing of people really treating me like I was special since day one. So when I walk into rooms, I was always treated like I was special.
Oh, so they created this, hey?
Yeah, and unapologetically so. I know I'm amazing, but what saved me is discipline and African Xhosa culture. So my mom was able to instill all of that in me, which helped me be who I am today. I'll tell you how great I am, but in the same hand, I will love you and care for you and treat you as in my equal, and give half of me to other people. And my mother was my steroid. And why I am the man I am today. And to those who dislike me, it's none of my business. And if you don't have my number to tell me you dislike me, then you shouldn't even care what I am or who I am.
I love that you started at the meaning of your name. I love African names precisely for that reason. My name is Senamile. In Zulu, we are happy. So it's like an equivalent. But in keeping up, you mentioned that you're amazing, but you're also brave, unfiltered, and bold. And I feel like the red nails thing that we have going here, we usually give our guests this just as an extra nudge to be like, get out of the box, paint your nails. You clearly don't need that, but because it's procedural, come on.
Wait, so you do it now?
You have to do it now.
Okay, go. Sure.
Do you want me to hold it for you? One hand.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah, do you want me to do it?
What? Look at this man.
Hey, look at
Not just one finger, the whole hand.
the whole hand. Okay, cool. I'm gonna paint this.
Okay. Well then.
Clearly
Okay.
a
So
king, hey?
So while you're
Oh,
doing
wow.
that,
I'm doing that horribly.
Terribly.
Senna and I have decided that we were talking about what does 2026 look like for us, and we decided that the thing that we are going to make very sure we do is to lean into places that are uncomfortable, because that's where the growth is, right?
Sure.
And it feels really hard in the moment, but it the benefit of it is quite explosive.
Sure.
That's what we've been sandboxing this year anyway. So I want to ask you, what was a moment that was pretty uncomfortable that you leant into and that has been something that has propelled your life forward?
It's going to sound like a weird one. I think losing my mother was the worst thing that's ever happened to me and that will ever happen to me. But it did do something to me. It did shift something inside of me. It made me more emotional. It made me more vulnerable. It made me love and care for others more. It improved me as an artist. Would I do it again? If someone asked that my mom comes back for 24 hours and I lose her again, I don't want her back. But it definitely has shifted my entire world, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone else. But it's one of those things that could have broken me, that has actually made me a better version of myself as well. But I had no choice.
No, but how?
You know, I heard this saying that said, buffaloes and cows are related. When a storm hits, the cow runs because the cow thinks it can get away from the storm. But they've been in captivity for so long. But when a bull, when a buffalo, when a storm comes, a buffalo knows that if it turns around and runs right towards the storm, that they'll be in the storm actually for a short amount of time. But if you run away from the storm, you'll always be in kak. You'll continuously be in kak. And I think the culture currently, I hate being around the society we live in. I hate it. I think we're full of a lot of weak people who feel like hardships shouldn't be part of life. And every time something goes hard, there's a name for it. And if you're listening to this, I'm not talking about people who are depressed. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't be sensitive. That's what I'm talking about. But I feel like hardships are part of life. The ups, the downs are part of life. I think there's a lot of people out there who are fucking weak and who refuse to be going through the storm. And sometimes they spend so much time running away from the storm that they end up in the storm longer than they should be. I don't enjoy being around these people. I really prefer being at home, scratching my balls alone, and watching content because I'm sick and tired of people glorifying being weak. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I have no time for it. I think I think, like I said to someone the other day, I said, one of my friends is struggling, going through a difficult time, and he's on medication. But I said to him, okay, but let's go box. Let's go for a walk. Let's go rollerblade. Let's do something. Let's get out there. And I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, let's do everything to try and better ourselves. And I just feel like it's pretty fashionable not to be. It's okay not to be okay, but it's become quite fashionable not to be okay.
I just want to zero in on that. You almost sounded like philosophical as you were speaking about it.
I'm not being philosophical. I'm just sharing my view on the world.
No, I'm going to intellectualize. I'm going to intellectualize what you said.
I'm not the best intellectualizer of things. No. I just share what I feel and what I see in the world.
Then allow me the pleasure of quoting Nietzsche, who says that to live is to survive. I mean, to live is to suffer, but to survive is to find meaning. And you went through something so difficult with the loss of your mom. And as you said, I think we look at pain. Going through. Actually, that's my question. Yeah. What are the waves of grief like? Are there anything?
I'm still broken. I'm still absolutely uncomprehendibly broken.
3 years?
3 years, 3 months. I still sometimes hit my steering wheel and go, fuck. I still look at people who have their mothers. I'm still jealous. The first time I ever said this on a platform, and I'm going to say it here, which is the most difficult thing. 2 things. I still see someone who's lost their mother and have a silent, inexplainable happiness towards seeing someone's feeling my pain. It's indescribable. It sounds so evil, but it's so like, now you can feel how I felt. But not even in the malicious way possible. It sounds malicious, but it's like, then I'm always the first one to pick up the phone. And not to say sorry, not to say condolences, not to ask how you're feeling, not to say, oh my goodness, it's my worst nightmare to lose my mind. Oh my God, utter bullshit. If you're listening to this, don't do any of that. Don't ask someone how they are. Don't say sorry. Don't say condolences. Ask them how you can show up for them. So for me, because some people didn't show up well when I lost my mother, I try to be the person who shows up the way I would have liked people to show up.
It's hard though when people have their intent in the right
I know
place,
right? The intent is great. Yeah. Its intent is great, but I would have done the same thing before because I would have done the same. Oh my goodness, you lost my. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I would do if I lost mine. Oh my God, I just don't. No. Oh, condolence. I'm so.
Would you do it with that accent?
Sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry. You know what I do? If I'm available, I'll sit in that church, and I hate church. I hate religion. I hate church. But I'll sit in that church and I'll be there. Not even if I don't know your mother, but I'm there for you. And then lastly, another weird thing is when men hurt, they hurt others. And when women hurt, they hurt themselves. I wanted to see others hurt when I was hurting. And I started to understand why broken people break others. It took a lot of me not to hurt others. And it's because it hurts so bad.
Yeah, because you're lashing, you need somewhere to put it.
And you become like a kid. Guys, let me tell you, when your entire world is gone, you become like a 3-year-old. You become like a little baby. Like losing my mother made me feel like I had to learn how to walk, because the woman who taught me how to walk, the woman who taught me how to eat, the woman who taught me how to change my nappies is gone, which makes me an infant. So then I had these temper tantrums, but because I'm a loner, because I'm a lone wolf, they were alone, you know. But I can see why men hurt others, and it's. I think the world, like I'm going on a tangent here, but the like women of change did a protest, and in the protest they said women and queer community join this thing. It didn't involve men, and I just couldn't understand that. And I actually spoke to them on the phone. I was like, how can you have a protest and the people who are actually hurting people aren't there? You haven't invited them. Because in the initial thingy, they didn't invite men. And I spoke to them on the phone about it. And for me, so many people are spending so much time trying to heal the symptoms of men. Why they don't, no one goes to the cause.
How many men are showing up though? If women invite that, as soon as we start, Women for Change, as soon as that starts.
Quickly, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying the entire narrative of how we fix these problems is we got to ask ourselves why men are doing these things, right? Because they are wise. Because a lot of times what we're doing is trying to heal symptoms. So it's the same when you have the flu. They stop the sneezing. They stop the coughing. You're like, but you got the germs there, and that kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Underlying
issue.
issue.
For me, so I'm not blaming things. I think what they're doing is they're doing incredible work. I can tell you guys, I was a 37-year-old man who has all the money you'll ever need, all the success you'll ever need. When I lost my mother, I wanted the world to burn. I wanted to burn the world. Right? And I had all the tools to be able to help myself, and it was difficult not to burn the world. Now, unemployment, education, poverty, all these things. I see why men are hurting people, right? And then what you want to do is exclude them out of the conversation of them hurting people. I just don't understand it.
I have to challenge you on this.
No,
right?
you challenge.
Okay,
I am the. This topic.
Here's the thing. You just listed a whole bunch of things. Unemployment, blah blah blah. Those are disproportionately affecting women.
Agreed.
Right. So I hear you saying invite men into the conversation. There are forums that invite men into the conversation. As soon as you start that, we then there's this whole wave of toxic. Men are equal.
Yeah.
Like, what about the men? Poor the men. Men loneliness. All of this kind of thing.
Or what
It's
about
the immediate. It's the immediate backlash.
Okay.
So show me what it looks like to invite men, and then you're going to show me that there's going to be 3 that are standing at the front there.
Let's go on things that I can tell you that women who are involved in this space don't even know. All right, quickly, let's go. There are more men dying of suicide than women are dying of breast cancer. Cool, but I'm sure no one will know that.
I know all about that, and I'm going to challenge you on it in a moment.
Let's go. There are more men dropping out of school than women by a country mile. There are more men in university. There are more women in university by a country mile. Like, it's not even a joke. Women from graduating up to about 30, women are actually doing better in the workspace than men. But the narrative will not come across. The biggest difference between men and women are currently, it's about 29, 30, and that is the gender pay gap, which perpetuated by childbirth, right? Which, if you look at the narrative, a lot of the times they think it's the vagina, but a lot of times it is childbirth that perpetuates it, and as soon as childbirth happens, the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Then another woman comes through, then that woman becomes the chosen one and wants to be the chosen one, and she gets picked and she goes higher and higher and higher and higher and overtakes the woman who's given childbirth. So the gender pay gap from about out of university, women are doing in university, out of university into the workplace, women are doing better than men in the workplaces and after university, but that narrative would not be told. That narrative would not be spoken about.
Siv,
I'm not. Friend, you know, I love this. Let's go. Let's go. But what perpetuates the gender pay gap is childbirth, perpetuated by childbirth. So what happens is she has a child. She's out of the workplace for a while, right? Then She goes back after 3-4 months, whatever it is. Then there's another lady who's the younger, more beautiful, more attractive one, who the guy's like, I'll just go Jill, whatever. And the Jill's like, I want to meet, whatever. And then it becomes this little thing. So, guys, I just want to know, because what's going to happen is we're going to cut this up into snippets. I know how it goes, and people will only hear that bit, right? What I am saying is, I believe that we can talk about fixing men and protecting women and fixing what's happening to women. We can do them at the same time. I don't think we have to do one or the other, right? I think we can involve men in the conversation, right? Have men failed? Hallelujah, we're failed. Are we failing? Yes, we're failing. Pointing our fingers at us will not fix us. Will women screaming at us fix us? No. Men need to start screaming at other men. 150% agreed. 150% agreed. But we need to get involved in the conversation as much as possible. And there's something I'm planning with a couple of famous friends of mine, male friends of mine, next year on International Women's Day. There's something big coming. Do I think the narrative about the state of men has been pushed out there? No, I don't.
But come back, but come back to the thing about the male suicide rates, right? Is that not something that you just spoke to us? I don't know why I've not included you. Like, you just spoke to us about how when things are uncomfortable, we can lean into it or we can be the victim of it.
Agreed.
You talk about this male suicide rates thing. I think that is 100% the product of a world that is actually now recognizing the value of women, that is putting women in the spotlight. It's the same thing as things like BEE, it's whatever. We're now putting people who are meant to be there in the spotlight.
Yep.
And the men who have benefited from the program for so long, from the system for so long, are like, oh, this is so hard for me. Oh, my life is so hard. I'm depressed. I'm suicidal.
Hallelujah. 150% agree with you.
Right. So here's my view.
I live in a world when I think people are being pussy-ass bitches. Like, even the word pussy-ass bitches, people are going to say to me, it's being derogatory. No, it's a figure of speech, a terrible figure of speech. I believe men don't know where they fit into society currently, right?
Whose problem is that?
It's their problem.
Right.
150%, right? So, they're not needed to protect. They're not needed to provide. You know what I mean? Women don't need us anymore.
And now it's a male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah. Women are talking back.
Once again, we're centering men. Shame.
No, so agreed. I believe that both things can be dealt with at the same time. The difference is, okay, I'm going to give you another stat that South Africans don't look at. So we have 78 murders a day in South Africa. 78. 15 of those are women, right? And 63 of those are men. Now, women's reply to that is, but it's men killing men. Yes, it's still people who are dead, right? Right? So the papers would, if you look at the papers, you wouldn't think, I don't believe we have a GBV problem in this country. I do not believe it. And I'll say them this, I don't believe we have a GBV problem in this country. We don't. We have a violence problem, right? We have a violence problem because you can't have GBV before you have violence, right? So for me, if you look at the stats, comrades, if we're truthfully honest, if you look at the stats, we're sitting on this couch, comrades. We're sitting on this couch. Technically, I am more unsafe.
Guys, I want to comment on this.
I am more unsafe.
No,
but it will not
I've
sell
heard
papers.
both of you. I've heard both of
It
you.
will not sell papers. I'm just saying. I repeat,
Okay.
78 murders a day, 15 of those are women, and 63 of those are men. So statistically, I'm more unsafe than you guys. We have a violence problem.
I think that I can agree with both of what you're saying, and you and I.
Before you said,
Yeah.
because I know you guys are gonna cut the pieces up.
No,
No,
don't.
finish.
Hey,
No,
you don't know that.
No. Oh,
Challenge to end this entire interview.
You guys would be, if you were smart, you would cut up things that I've said without finishing what I've said. Then it goes viral. The people want to go watch. First of all, I'm not saying women are not unsafe in this country. What I just want to say is that we speak violence in this country. And I say that because I speak violence fluently. I speak it fluently, right? And I'm a man who has everything that I need in life. I speak violence. Like, promise you, if you're in that lift, someone comes, I'm ready to fight. And if he's potentially going to kill me, I'd rather die. And someone goes, he was fighting, either protecting someone or whatever. I do think what is happening, there's a narrative that has been pushed that there's a GBV problem in this country, right? And a lot of times people don't talk about GBV, but GBV is from, but I promise you, I think we should deal with both. Name one pro-man charity. Name one pro-man charity. Let's go. Name one charity that is pro-man.
Why?
Name one.
Why?
I'm asking
Can
you.
I flip the
no,
script?
But I'm asking you. Name one, friend. Both of you, name one. There's 3 other ones. Name one male charity. One. Name one. Name one. Can you name one? No, you cannot.
I can actually.
What?
I don't know its name.
What?
But I know of it.
Both of what you're saying is not wrong, right? And it's an issue that we grapple with in our activism for racial equity.
Yeah.
It's the sense that there are problems, like it's symptoms, right? So we can't just start at how is corporate looking. You spoke about the language of violence.
Yeah.
I mean, we can track all of that stuff back to a violent colonial and apartheid history, which then just spills over into a family context, into societal context. So it's the conversation that we have. How do we bring people in, white people with privilege, walk them through a journey of saying, hey guys, like, how do you do that in a way that doesn't invalidate your own pain? At what point does that calmness and that sort of, hey, let's all kumbaya together, is onerous extra on the black people who don't have that privilege? And so do you cuddle? Do you call them out? Do you fight? And I genuinely think that there is not one way to do it.
Agreed.
I think that there is many ways in which we can come past it and come together to it. You're wearing a South African, a Safa jersey, Bafana Bafana. Sport. You've been in 2 movies about nation building, Nelson Mandela, that time, Long Walk to Freedom. The other one was Invictus. What is your comment on another sort of thing we don't talk about in society, which is where are we in terms of the racial equitable society that we envisaged in 94?
Hey, that's a question and a half. Like, it's either. So I do a lot of podcasts, and sometimes I go, let me go and be PC. I have no
Are
time.
you sure? I haven't watched any of those.
I have no time to be PC. South Africa spends so much time celebrating how united we are when there's sport, but no one talks about how we are when there's no sport. I feel like South Africa is so amazing when we're winning. When Rassi's winning, when Sia's winning, when we're leading, there's something amazing that happens. Afrikaners speak about white genocide and talk about farm killings, and that's all in the narrative. But when we start watching rugby, you hear nothing about farm killings, and you hear nothing about white genocide. None of them are leaving the country. But just wait till Rassi stops. Now there's no rugby there for another flipping 6 months. There's no rugby. 7 months.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing those refugees, eh?
And another problem that's quite interesting is that you don't judge South Africa between the 15th of December to the 15th of Jan. Because we switch off.
Yeah, December, boss.
I still think we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Still think it's like the difference between discipline and motivation. Motivation is short term. Like short little sparks, like drinking an energy drink. For me, the answer to South Africa and the answer to life is discipline, because discipline equals happiness. And I think for me as a South African, we're not a disciplined nation.
And what do you see specifically as the undisciplined nature of the conversation or of the relationships that we're having? And I'm talking here across obviously our social circles, corporate, whatever, movies, acting, the entertainment industry. What is the divide?
I'm South African. If I see a one way and then there's an easy way, I'll take that one way.
An easier way.
If I can break the law, but a small break of law, I'll break it as South African. You know what I mean?
That's a suggestion.
But when I'm in New York, I'm not jaywalking. There's a culture of discipline. I'm not saying America is better than us. That's what I'm saying. But there's a culture. No one else is doing it. Do you know how Do you know how New York was fixed in the 80s? They fixed all the broken windows. They put a cop in every single corner. Then when you would walk from one traffic light to another traffic light, you see a cop. Then they would move them to further apart. So between the traffic light to the traffic lights is discipline. There's like a weird little discipline that happens, and with and like accountability. Then you put them further apart, and then suddenly you feel disciplined throughout the whole thing. I think South Africans, we get away with murder.
Okay, so you're talking about and actually we get away with murder.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about, but what about the relationships between humans? Like what do you see as the solve there in terms of progress?
So Cape Town, you and I spoke at it Cape Town for me, you have people who are in their 20s who've never had a black friend.
Yeah.
Like,
say that again.
Sometimes I meet women, like I'll meet white girls who've never been with a black man. Now, you don't have to be with a black man, that's what I'm saying. but I'll be their first black sexual encounter or black any encounter from an equal point of view. Now they're watching, going, "Oh my God, what are you talking about? I have black friends."
With that accent.
Yeah, colleagues aren't your friends. Like Mavis, who works at your house, is not your friend, right?
Yeah.
So like in Cape Town, sometimes you're not forced. But when I go to Joburg, there's something about Joburg, and like Joburg people don't give themselves too much credit. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Like let's not get too, because Joburg people like to go, "Oh, we're so much united." Shut up. There's racist in, like, for me, there's more racist in flipping Pretoria than there is in flipping. So relax, Joburgians, relax. It's a numbers game. All it is because the black people are a huge majority, and black people go there to work. A lot of companies are there, so a lot of people who are unapologetically black. But a lot of Joburg people make it as like a stamp of approval when the city is a mess. So I'm gonna remind you, city is a mess. Comparing townships, I drove through Alex the other day, and Alex is an absolute diabolical fuck up. So let's not get too cocky, Joburg.
We got Soweto though.
Soweto has been helped not by government, has been helped by other Sowetans coming back. And
reinvesting in their community,
so like,
businesses.
Let's not because Joe people like to compare townships. Soweto's not a government thing. Soweto is black people plowing back into it. And to be honest, like, in Soweto is so far from everything that blacks are like, I'm just going to stay here and just fix this place myself. When I went to Joburg compared to Cape Town, I watched it and I'm like, wow. We have such a long way to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting enough, we spoke about gender earlier. Men aren't forced to be better and to change, right? So I say to my best friend all the time, if a man does a bare minimum and he gets the cookie, what's going to stop him? Well, why must he change his methods if he got before, right? And I say this to my best friend all the time. So a lot of white South Africans, and vice versa, the spaces that they're in, you can be in spaces in South Africa and have no diversity, right? So you're not forced to change. Nothing's forcing you to improve or change, you know? So I think for me, we got to create, like, I said this to Sia the other day. It's not a name drop, but Sia Kolisi. I said to Sia, I don't know if you're the best example, my friend. You got a scholarship. Technically on paper, you're a white kid. When I say white kid in the sense of opportunities, you went to Grey. You're one of the best school rugby schools in the country. You got food Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You went to boarding school.
He's an exception, not the rule.
He's really exception of the rule. So let's not have him. Let's not point at Sia and go, "That's no." And Sia said it himself. The answer is not taking black kids out of black schools. The answer is fixing black schools and black communities.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Then get these kids to be worldly and absolutely be able to go out to the world and take over the world. Fix townships. Don't take little black kids out and go, we took a Sia out again, will he be the captain? and don't put the pressure on little black kids to be Sia Kolisis. Because it's not often you take white kids out and go, listen here, I want you to be a flipping A.B. de Villiers. No. No.
You're carrying the aspirations of the whole community.
So for me as a black kid, I swam, played Western Province, water polo, I did all these things. But we shouldn't compare other black kids to that kind of reception. We want them to be great. For me, fix black schools.
Yeah.
Fix townships, and then let people integrate. Because,
let people integrate though. That's the main thing.
Yes.
We've got to actually. It's intentional.
Yeah.
And this whole business of it looks like this. I mean, let's go back to Cape Town, right? Cape Town has divides, literal like geographical divides between people who have and people who don't. People with privilege, i.e., white people, and everybody else. Like it has to be intentional. We have to break the structure in order to fix it. But this is the part that is so deeply uncomfortable, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. And you what was the wording you said? It's the energy versus the long-term game, right? It's a long-term game. We've got to realize we're going to be really uncomfortable right now. We've got to have conversations that suck. We've got to have opinions. Whether you and I disagree on an opinion or not is not the point. The point is we have to have opinions and conversation.
What I find quite fascinating, when we speak about race, we have the words, we have the diction, we have the examples, we talk about the past, what created it. We don't have the same thing when it comes to masculinity and femininity. We don't have the same words. Could you see how the conversation has become a lot more layered and intellectual, and there's better wordings?
I feel like you have a point of this.
No. Now, can you see how this conversation has more empathy? Yeah. It has more jewel.
Yeah.
We talk about this side and this side. Can you see, friend, how it becomes a little bit more, because another thing is that we're dealing with it as a country. We've had so many years to talk about it and understand the language of it, right? And can you see how, because you can debate from a point of, because here and here, I'm the only man here. You know what I mean? And but when it comes to race, every South African has a point of view. No matter if it's wrong or right, it's still a point of view, right? And Mandela said, the oppressor and the oppressed, same, both kak. But when it comes to the other conversation, we don't talk about what caused them. We don't talk about why they're like this and how they became like this and why they're like this and what this. It's a lot more, right? Now, I would not get back into this, but I love how this conversation is a little bit more textured. It's a little bit more less defensive and a little bit more. I'm not saying you're defensive. I'm not saying. I'm saying, yeah.
Okay, just
It's the power of language, right?
Yeah.
Like as you just said, like we've had opportunities to develop the language, the vocabulary, to be able to describe the experience. It's sort of what I think about when mental health in Black communities. How do we begin to have the conversation? We have not developed the mental health, like sort of the diction, the understanding. So when someone is really struggling, we can say utagati, we're like
guys, not everyone who's going who looks like they're going crazy is your witch doctor.
That's
enough now. Enough. Celebrities left, right, and center. Now you are. I'm not going to mention any of my friends' names. But now you're a sangoma.
Now you're a sangoma.
The language we gotta, and language is a beautiful thing. And even me as a man, I struggle with, I could be better at putting my points across, but I know how my friends are suffering. Like, I know my friends are so fucked. And I know, and then when they hurt people, people are like, what? I'm like, I've seen this guy's fucked for years. And they've always been called as a loser, broke, you know what I mean? All these things, I'm seeing it. And then we see the stats and people are like, what's happening? I'm like, we've known he's fucked for so long. And so we're moving into mental health. I see it. Like I see friends of mine, I talk to other friends, guy friends, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with, and then, yeah.
Patriarchy also inhibits men from developing the emotional language to be able to describe their experiences, hence suicide rates, right?
No, but we won't go back on the topic.
Anyway, I want to ask you guys spoke about we need to integrate, we need to go in, be intentional, create our own spaces, one of the things that you also said. You went to Orania this year. Was it this year?
I don't remember. This year. I think it was this year.
Did it change your perspective on anything? Can you tell us what you even...
Yeah. I'll give you quite a good example. The first edit that he sent me, I sent it back, and my only change was there were too many hugs and too much touching. Cut 6 hugs out, I said. Because that's how they were. Like,
what?
They were
hugs between you
they were like touchy. They were like feely, and the women were kissing on the lips, and very Afrikaans, like kissing the lips.
Each other?
No. To me,
they kissed you on the lips.
Yeah, but my first edit was, can you just cut away? There's so much touching because it looked too comfortable,
too inclusive, too
comfortable. So after going to running, my view is let them have it. Let them have it. There's a part of the video that I didn't share. It just would have been a little bit too, I'm stewing, whatever. Do you know if a woman gets abused, Afrikaans woman gets abused, she can write into Orania and the whole community will support her while she gets back onto her feet. Yeah, but I didn't put it in there because it would have looked like I'm trying to skew the conversation too much, that side. So then whatever, they could literally, the community will bring them up, whatever. There's no black labor, so everyone who's there, no labor at all except Afrikaans. So people are building their own houses.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Okay, here's an example, which I didn't put in the documentary because it was too long to explain, but at one point there were these Afrikaans boys, like 21 of them, like in the distance. And I could see their first years because their hairs were all cut. They have like the, initiation. They just arrived. And I was on this side of the road and they were that side of the road. And these Afrikaans kids meandered towards me. And literally lined up and just were like, and walk past, and walk past. And all of them just walked past and just like walked past and shook my hand. And then every time you pass a car, they, kind of a thing, they do this thing, even in the car. Now, there were pictures of the old South African flag, flags, of neo-Nazi flag, all these things that were there, and all these crazy things. That I was like, oh my god. I left there thinking, let them have it. One of them, the mayor, gave me an example of. He said, Orania is like a potjie pot. It's got three legs in the potjie pot. And then he named the 3 pillars of Orania. And my retort to him was, I was a scout from a cub from 7 to scout till 18. I know the magic of a potjie pot is what's inside. Potatoes, carrots, mixtures of meat.
This sounds like diversity to me.
Yeah.
Like you're missing out on the human experience.
I said, you're missing out here.
Jeez.
The beauty. And then and he was like, he pulled back. He's like, touche. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, you got me there. Kind of a thing. But guys, that for me, if you notice, I hardly ever talk about racism. If you notice, racism is not my fight. If you don't want to get to know me because the color of my skin, how are you missing out on this incredible specimen of a motherfucking man? So like, to women who say no to touching black men, imagine what you're missing out on me. I am a fine specimen of a man. And if you're a man and you say no to getting to know me, you're missing out. So my perception of the world is, fuck them. Leave them. If they don't want to integrate with us, leave them. Go. As long as they're not affecting the thing, the thing of the thing. But if I want because I'm black, cool. Like, it's not my fight. If you notice me, racism, it's not my thing.
I hear what you're saying. If you're not materially affecting my life or inhibiting my access to opportunities or my quality of life, or you have that power over me, then if you don't like me, it's fine.
But let me tell you one thing. I have one thing about comes to racism. If you're racist to me, I walk away. So chances that I have more money than you, I'm more successful than you, I've done more than you, I'll do more and I'll continue to do more than you. But if I witness you being racist to someone else, fists will fly. Now remember I said I speak violence fluently. I'm a very violent person. I don't mind fucking someone up for someone else, right? I don't like watching racism happen. Like if you belittling someone but it's actually the same thing with women. If a man is hitting a woman, I'm the first to go fist flying in that conversation. I'm not saying violence is the answer, but I do think some violence is needed occasionally. I do think
violence is not the problem, obviously.
Just every
every
now and again.
So, and even in that, I told you we have a violence problem because I know I'm part of the problem.
Self-aware.
So you say self-aware.
Oh, highly. I think I've been pretty self-aware guys, I think I've been pretty self-aware of the things I've said. I've told you that I've rejoiced in seeing other people's pain. I've told you these things here. I don't think I have been pretty open about my flaws. I've been very accountable with my flaws. But so racism isn't my fight.
No, it's not your fight. But I'll tell you what is your fight, and keeps catching my attention is your hand of red nails. Show it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. Red cues the menstruation foundation for me. In some ways, it's very similar to this whole conversation we've been having about the oppressed, the oppressor, the systemic nature of oppression, and I watched an interview where you spoke about your why, like why would you have gotten engaged in this project the way you did, and in this entire movement actually, and it cued us having a conversation about our why. But I'd like to ask you that here, as a man who has not himself experienced menstruation, but has in other ways, you are a part of menstruation in a different way, as you've shared before. Tell us your why.
Before you do that, I must tell our listeners that Siv has an incredible foundation where he's actually just recently opened up a factory with his co-founder. I believe, how many pads are you producing
we produce between 450 to 650 sanitary pads per minute. Between 216 to 516,000 sanitary pads per 8-hour shift. One of the most high quality, affordable sanitary pads in the African continent, if not the world. And we will not rest until we end period poverty. And even, so people ask me why.
I asked you why.
You asked me why. As you've realized in the conversation that we had for the last 45 minutes, I live in the uncomfortability. Because I know that's where it grows. So sometimes I say things and people go, oh, but then I got your attention, and then I'll enlighten you. That's my shit. I think too many people have made menstruation a woman thing. I think even women have made menstruation a woman thing. because a lot of the backlash I receive are from women
Yeah.
that say I am taking a woman thing and making it his own. 22 million women bleed every single month. 14 million women can afford sanitary pads, and 8 million women cannot, and 4 of those are in high schools and universities. I was outside the Italian embassy one day getting a visa, and there was this woman sleeping on the side of the road and packing up her clothes and her blanket. And maybe the reason why I recognized her is because she looked beautiful, because she just arrived in the street. So she was a real person. Because sometimes I think people who are on the street become others. So she was a real woman, and because I got her and she just arrived. So I went to her and I said to her, "What happened?" She was like, "I just arrived a couple of weeks ago." I said, "Cool." I took a 200 rand note and I gave her 200 rand, and I stood in the line. Cool, Italian embassy. And then I went onto Facebook and I went Facebook days. I said, "What do women do that time of the month?" And then I learned about this thing called period poverty. This was about 12 years ago. And then I had my birthday in 2 weeks' time. And then I was like, "Cool, let me do a pad drive." Sia was there, Helen Zilla was there, Wade was there. And then they were gone, and they got bags, and then they were gone. They were gone because we handed them out. And I realized, and then at the school I sent them out to, I went back a month later, and the girls were like, "Oh, thank you so much for selling us affordable pads." I said, "No, I gave them to you." The teachers were selling them to the girls. And then I just developed...
Teachers making money off them?
Yes, and then I developed a sanitary pad vending machine, which cuts out corruption. Corporates give us money. We distribute 1.5 million sanitary pads for free every single month. And then I was unhappy with the quality of the pads and the consistency of pads and the things that are in pads that harm women. And then I went to China and raised about 90 million rand. And then we opened up our own sanitary pad factory.
But why?
Why?
Why? Why did you do all this?
Because it affects me.
How?
Because I'm a human. And menstruation, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a bleeding vagina. People don't realize that people like to make period poverty about blood running down a girl's leg. You can't teach a hungry child, but I promise you can't teach her when she's got blood running down her legs. Now, we grew up as black people in townships, and in townships you see a lot of young girls wearing their nighties. They're like they're walking around and wearing their, and some of them can't go to school because they're on their period. And then people don't realize the link between child trafficking and that. So a lot of guys know she's home on her period. 28 days later, if I come back, she's going to be still here.
What's the link to the nightie?
So what happens is a lot of girls are not going to school because they don't want to.
So they're staying in their nighties.
And then walking around.
You can just maybe go buy bread. You see a lot. You see a lot in the Gasio in the village. Rural KZN.
Very like
very
that.
normal. Yeah.
But then it's involved in a lot of child trafficking and a lot of sex trafficking as well. So the girls get kidnapped and raped during that time because they become home, and school is a safety mechanism for all of them. And I realized that and then obviously because I like to ruffle shit up, I like to ruffle little feathers here. I called it menstruation because it was started by 2 men. It's called menstruation because there's men in menstruation, there's man in humankind, and there'd be no humanity without menstruation. We're the biggest sanitary pad period poverty charity in the African continent. It makes people uncomfortable. And I will not stop until we end period poverty in Africa.
So when you look at the impact, and as you said, you just humanized, you gave us the figures, then you humanized us and said what it actually looks like for a young girl to not be able to go to school, to be denied of her basic human dignity.
Yep.
And you know that you are part of a solution to that. Not to center you, but... Can you maybe take us, does that feel gratifying? Does it give you meaning? Does it give you purpose?
The answer to period poverty is menstrual cups. Menstrual cups, but only privileged people use menstrual cups, which is quite ironic. And people love to go on my platform and like, you're killing me, the earth. And I'm like, did you use a tampon when you first bled? When you first menstruated, did you use a tampon? Did you use a tampon?
I used a pad.
Do you use a tampon?
No.
Any woman here use a tampon when there's... No, because you don't... Inserting. So why suddenly do poor kids have to have to insert. So a lot of women have an issue with inserting. So a lot of predominantly white women were like, the answer is, and I'm always like, did you use a tampon the first time? Did you? No, I did. I used a pad. So you understand that okay.
And you understand the stigma with insertion when you're a young black girl as well, yeah.
So I know the answer is menstrual cups, but I think that because a menstrual cup is 250 Rand, 5 years, but you can't use a menstrual cup if you don't have running water.
Yeah.
In the cubicles, is there a sink in your cubicle? No, there isn't. So how do you go clean this thing? Cool. So for me, I think people should have options. I'm a man, I have options of condoms. And a lot of people like to make examples of condoms. Condoms are a bad example because condoms help 2 people. The best example is toilet paper. Toilet paper is readily available anywhere. Public toilets, you don't pay for toilet paper. It stops a natural thing for one person, for you. That's why condoms are a terrible example, because condoms help 2 people. STDs, pregnancy. So for me, the answer is a lady should be able to have free, affordable sanitary pads, and then if she wants to move to menstrual cups, she can. Options. You asked about the thing, and I am unapologetic that I love helping people because it makes me feel good. I love the feeling it gives me to help people, and people mustn't be ashamed that it feels good.
I appreciate that.
And,
I love that.
And there's another thing that I learned when I was in Japan. I don't respect you and you because of you. I respect you because of me, right? Because I think a lot of people make respect about the other person. I treat you well because I was taught to treat people well, right? And for me, I think a lot of the times people spend so much time going, she was raped and it's so disgusting, like she's someone's sister. No, she's a person, right? So first of all, the ethics that I try make I like making my charity unapologetic. We use blood is red, it's not blue in our advertising. We talk about vaginas. We have diverse women in our marketing. And lastly, it's okay to give back because it feels good. And we want to do good not because of the other person. We want to do good because we respect ourselves enough to be good people. You know, I think sometimes the narrative is Japanese culture. It's I respect you because of me, right? And the byproduct.
It also points to your choice, though. In the matter, it shows intentionality. Like I am doing this because I am doing this, not because I just happen to be a nice person.
Yeah.
No,
so in Japan, you don't find dustbins anywhere. You know what that forces you to do? Take your shit home and throw it away at home. You know, are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for other people? But it feels good to do it for yourself. So you say that I don't. It's the same as when you stop at the traffic lights. I don't stop at the traffic lights because I want to. I have to. Yeah.
Are you sure you're not philosophical?
No,
those are some bars.
No.
Like, come on, just lean into it.
No. For me, Mandela did something that people gave him credit for. Mandela always never wanted people to give him too much credit because you knew there would be coming out that he was a womanizer. People know Mandela. That's why it was like, not me. I promise.
We were going to ask you, literally, we were going to end this interview. Senna was going to be like, hey, Siv, do your best Nelson Mandela impression for us
And you just
today.
did it.
Yeah.
Unprompted.
So I think for me, I'm too flawed. I'm sure there's people watching here who go, he broke my heart. He did. There's a lot of things. But I promise you, I can break your heart and still try to change lives.
There's a whole community of people whose hearts you've broken.
Oh, babes, I'm 40 years old. If I hadn't broken hearts, I ain't doing it right. If your heart has not been broken, you're not loving hard enough. Then this is another thing I love. Like, I've said things here that I haven't said before in podcasts, and the reason why is because I feel very comfortable with you guys, and I have gotten to the point in that I'm not scared what they say, and I know after people hear this, there will be articles about it. They will be. I know they will be. But anything I said on this platform, I back, and I 150% believe in, and I believe that we can help. 2 things can be right. And there's another thing that I wanted to post so badly that I didn't. I wanted to say recently, isn't it crazy how people can march for a country, a city, a place that's overseas? They can march for their political views. They can march for everything. They can march for animals. But when the time comes to march for people who march with you, which is women, they don't. That confuses me. If you can say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, but you can't march for the women who are in your country and fight for women in your country, it blows my mind. If you're going to go for EFF rallies, if you're going to go for ANC rallies, if you're going to do all these things, but but you can't march for the woman who's standing side by side by you in the marches. It confuses me. If you want to talk about, sometimes people message me, oh my God, Siv, can you believe it? Women are using toilet paper in Gaza. It's ridiculous. Do something. I said, I'm doing something right here. So if you know that there's people in Boerkaap who don't have pads, who are struggling with pads. Up the road from where I live, up the stop of Roland Street, there's a woman who can't, there's a school right there, they don't have pads. So I don't. So humans fascinate me. So I believe that two things can be right. You can march for that. You can march for that. But I don't understand how men don't realize that there's atrocities happening here, and we need to stand up and be accountable for our fuck ups for years, and make a change. I don't understand it. It confuses me, and I've been wondering. I'm going to put it on social media today. Actually, I'm going to trend today.
We'll give you the tip.
No, it's fine. I'm going to trend today because I'm going to say I'm going to trend today because people are going to be very upset with me. Very upset.
Siv?
I think on that note, a call to action, everyone. But this is also a race, privilege, and identity podcast, so we covered all of that.
I didn't even know that.
Did you not know that when we invited you?
Can I be honest? Even though painting my hair, I didn't know that.
Yeah, despite the fact that I told him 3 times.
But I show up and we'll play. We'll play. So for me, it's not my strong suit up to the race, and it isn't because I don't work in workspaces as well. I'm an entertainer, and I think sometimes there's a privilege that I have that I think I walk into Rome and they don't see me as black, they see me as Siv, which sometimes there's a bit of a privilege of, and I think you need to use your privilege to be able to help other people. So that's why I'm not. Maybe I'm not the best guest for that topic.
No,
it's the best guest.
There is a much broader conversation around privilege, and that's what we've spoken about today, which I really appreciate. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Cool. Good luck with editing.
Thanks.
The thingy. But guys, ladies, it's been a pleasure. I did say things that I've been wanting to say for a while, but I do believe that we can help and fight more than one thing at the same time, and I don't think everyone needs to fight everything.
Yeah, I think pick your battles.
I think we all need to pick something.
Yeah.
What is bothering you right now? Like, so to everybody, like, think of something in your country, in your community, a problem. What is bothering you, and how are you going to find a solution to that?
And I don't think you have to fight.
To be
I don't think
everywhere.
I don't think you have to tell people to fight things. But I do sometimes think we must ask questions about why we're not fighting this thing. Like why?
And what does it look like to use my spaces
Yeah.
to promote whatever that thing is that makes me uncomfortable? Yeah, 100%.
Well, we appreciate
so
you
funny how
standing
I-
on business.
So funny how